How does having a photo booth company at your wedding or event help activate guests? Find out next. Greetings, Russ Climie here from Tiberius Images. I'm excited to bring you this next episode of interviews with event professionals, and today you're going to meet TJ, the owner of Fast Booth. Fast Booth is a photo booth company based here in the West Michigan area that focuses primarily on weddings and corporate events. I've known TJ for a while now, and you'll see that he's got some unique things going on at his company. I encourage you to watch the entirety of the video and enjoy. Excited that you're here today.
Me too, man.
And I'm excited to talk about Fast Booth and what you've got going on. We were talking earlier beforehand, you said you had 300 events.
Oh, we're on pace for 350 this year, but we don't know if we'll get there, but if things keep going the way they're going, we're gonna get there.
That's awesome. So just so people know who you are, introduce yourself to the world out there.
Sure. My name is TJ. I'm from Fast Booth Photo Booth, and we provide photo booth for corporate and social events and activations. Everything from weddings to large-scale national brand activations, like we've got upcoming for Gerber for the National Baby Food Festival, and everything in between.
So activation, that's a new term that's coming out from an experiential marketing concept that not a ton of people are taking advantage of, so definitely remind me to come back and talk about that. Yeah. But I'd love to know, how does one end up in the photo booth world? Like, Are you like a former retail employee that said, I'm going to go and do this? So tell me a little bit about your background.
So I ended up in the photo booth business pretty much out of necessity. Most photo booths at the time, and a lot of them, that are still around, we wanted to provide an alternative to the slow, kind of big and bulky, don't match the event, all that kind of stuff. But I'm a DJ by trade, so I got to see all of the booths out there. And my biggest complaint was speed. So when you had a photo booth at an event, I was almost upset about it because it took a lot of people away from the dance floor, and that, I felt those people should be dancing instead of simply waiting in line. What we found was photo booths that printed in 20 to 60 seconds, had 10-second countdown times, took 4 pictures. There was a lot of problems with that for me, because looking at a logistical standpoint, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you really add it up, we now produce, all of our prints, and our speed is 7 times faster than pretty much everybody else, because of the faster printers and 3 pictures instead of 4, and that also gives us more area to customize for the client too. But all of those things added up have really created a better experience, especially for weddings compared to what else is out there.
For sure. So how many weddings compared to corporate events are you guys doing? You said you're on pace to 350. Tell me a little bit of the breakdown.
The weddings are going to be the primary focus of our business right now, where I'd say probably 75% of what we do is going to be weddings and social events.
So that means there's not necessarily a ton of corporate or social events that are doing this, so you have a lot of room to grow there, because there are a ton of places that are doing that.
Yeah, so corporate is almost, corporate has social aspects as well as activation. So activations are going to be on a much larger scale. They're going to be, at festivals, fairs, trade shows, things like that. But corporate also has social aspects, so we'll do corporate parties, Christmas parties. Right now we're doing a lot of almost like a field day for a lot of companies, where they'll have a basketball court set up and a bounce house set up, and
it's nice outside.
Yeah. So they want to take advantage of the weather.
Nice weather, for sure. That's awesome. So how did you? You ended up, you said you're a DJ. Is that something you still do as well? Like, you guys have a DJ company as well?
Yeah, still DJing under the DJ Grand Rapids, the DJ GR tag.
Okay.
We do that quite a bit, probably more than I should with all the other things we have going on. But DJing is it's my passion, my first, that's what got me into events, and I love it. I almost wish I could do it more, but what we like, and the reason I like it too is because our clients come to us from a DJ standpoint for different reasons. We're not just there to play music, and we're there to help coordinate the event and work with the photographer, work with the other vendors, make sure everybody's on the same page, and essentially manage that event for the client too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what does the world of photo booth look like? Like, from I guess 2 questions inside. It's like day to day, like a week by week basis. walk somebody through what that looks like as a business owner,
Sure.
and then maybe as you plan out, 6 months, 12 months down the road, what you're trying to accomplish and grow your business. I'd love to kind of hear those two
Sure.
perspectives.
So exactly, you're right on point with the day to day. Is that's always changing. So this week we had client meetings on Monday. We had 3 client meetings on Monday, and then filling in the gaps, we have Katie, my wife, does all of our graphics, and she's working on new brochures, new business cards. And then Monday we also have someone working in the office now, and she's actually at venue meetings today. So she's Thursday she's doing venue meetings with venues that have us or want us on their preferred vendors list. And then I do a lot of client meetings and a lot of office work and leads, and we're also working on an online booking platform, which may help save a lot of work.
Are you guys
No, not
just
developing
okay.
it, but trying to implement that. But I'm kind of a beta for them because we do multiple cities. So we're down in we're in Grand Rapids, we're in St. Joe, we're in Holland, Muskegon, Lansing, Kalamazoo.
So it's not just one.
Yeah, not just Grand Rapids. We're wherever they want us to go.
Radius, right?
But so I have to do a few things to implement that. But so it's busy. I mean, you're talking about every week we usually have between 4 and 10 client meetings or venue meetings and/or. Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's week to week, and then obviously you're doing events typically evenings. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, evenings.
80% of the time.
But for example, this one of those kind of field day things. This Friday we've got something from 12 to 4.
Gotcha.
So most of our events are in the evenings, but we do or that festival that I spoke about earlier. That is I think that's 12 to 4 as well. So there's some afternoon stuff, or like when we're in graduation party season, those are usually in the afternoon.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, most of our events are in the evening.
Yeah, and I'm just looking to help people understand kind of what it looks like, when they're
Sure.
either emailing you or calling you or interested in the world of photo booth. Like, what does that even look like? And then when you start planning out, 6, 12 months in advance, kind of a big picture perspective.
Yeah, so when you're planning a wedding or event, we're one of the bigger companies, so we can usually accommodate anybody. However, most photo booths are going to book anywhere from 6 to 12 months in advance. However, we get things, it's not uncommon for us to book things that are 2 weeks out.
Gotcha.
Even a wedding, and I'm sad to say, but a lot of times, we'll come and save the day if another company will have a technical problem or a double booking or something like that. But sometimes they find extra money in their brides find extra money in their budget, and now they want to do it, and here we go.
Gotta spend it. Right?
Yeah,
you gotta spend it.
You gotta spend it.
So you're looking out 6, 12 months in advance. Like, what is that? You talk about preferred, meeting with preferred venues, and talk about your marketing. How do you guys market yourselves? Right?
Most of our marketing is basically through website and building a website properly and having our website optimized for search. We do a little bit on AdWords. Not a ton. I manage that myself, but we do that a little bit. But the easiest way to find us is to put in photo booth rental in your city, photo booth rental Grand Rapids, and we usually show up top 3. Photo booth rental Kalamazoo, Holland, like all the places we're at, we'll show up top 3. And then most of the time we're the first local company to actually have a website listed as well. Rather than like a national chain or something like that.
Sure. So, I understand. I mean, the wedding industry is so massive.
It is.
That it draws a lot of companies from, at least big dollar companies from the East Coast and West Coast who want to franchise or systematize their business into the Midwest area. So a lot of times I completely understand that's what you're dealing with. So who are your favorite clients to work with? Like, if you could have, like, this is who we serve best, how would you answer that?
Sure. I'd say my most favorite clients are, I have one in particular. Metro Health has been a fantastic client of ours.
Yeah, talk about that.
A number of years. We usually do 2 or 3 events a year for them. And one of the best ones, and I don't think we're doing that this year, but they have Night at the Zoo, which they'll have all the staff and family and kind of rent out John Ball Zoo, and we'll have a couple photo booths there. So that's a really good client. We do their awards night as well. So all of their employees that have been with them for 5 to 10 years. And for that, we'll do a little bit of roaming photography. We'll do a backdrop setup with a stylized print. And then roaming photography is really cool too. So what we'll do with that is it's tablet based. Does instant processing with our design, and then people can email it, social share, whatever they want to do with it.
Right from the tablet.
Right from the tablet.
Are you literally handing them the tablet?
Exactly.
And then they're putting their stuff in.
And that's something that crosses over. So that's something that started primarily with corporate activations, but then transferred over into some social social events too, because
Yeah.
it's so cool and so easy, and it's nice because photo booth's fantastic. But when I can go to the people, it makes it easier instead of trying to get them to come over to me.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking through weddings that we've been a part of where there's been a successful photo booth or not a successful photo booth, and the non-successful ones, it's always people trying to pull. Hey, can you come in? Come take your photo taken.
But part of that too is, and I think part of the reason we've had success in weddings is that we have an event and a wedding background. We encounter a lot of photo booths that just thought, oh well, this would be a good idea, but they don't actually think through the process. And when we started the company, it was with 4 goals in mind. We wanted the speed, which I talked about. We wanted something that was better looking, which that's we create custom designs from scratch for each client. We have 27 backdrops to choose from. We create something that looks like you planned on it being there, and that's really the goal with that. And then we also have all-inclusive or upfront pricing. So pretty much everything that you need is included in the price. But more important than pretty much any of that stuff is fitting the booth into the event properly, where we encountered photo booths that were setting up while guests were there already, or breaking down, or even set up or breaking down during formal dances. So picture a 6 to 12 wedding reception, and you've got a photo booth company that's going to run 6 to 9. People would come up to me, if I'm the DJ, they'd come up to me as a DJ and say, hey, so you're finishing up? Well, no, that's the kind of stuff we wanted to solve too. So we always include idle time for dinner. So we'll run for cocktail hour, break for an hour, and then run for remaining time. So when we are breaking down, it's while less guests are there and it's not as intrusive. Along with we give them that hour included. So there's time for toasts and introductions and the things, and fit it into the event how it should fit.
Sure, rather than being, I don't want to say distraction, might not be the right word, but just taking away where you're splitting guests' attention.
Or setting up like during formal dances or something like that. You don't want to mess around with that.
And at the end of the night, we always, when we meet with brides, I tell them a lot of the times, like, we don't need to stay the whole night, because at some point you're going to go from dancing and your guests are going to then start flailing. And it's at that moment in time where like nobody wants pictures.
Time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So what's the best part about the photo booth? Like, what do you like the most in terms of your industry?
The best thing that I like about photo booth and how we do it is pretty much I can guarantee every event people will still come up to us and say, they'll just have like that wow on their face. It's something that they've never seen, they're not used to. Along with we've got and I know everybody says this, but we've got the best clients, and there's something to be said for educating clients and letting them make the decision for how they want to do things, rather than just kind of letting them without educating them, letting them free fall or freeform it, because most people don't put on events. So we want to guide, we want to lead them, and when we do that and they understand the difference between how we do things and how other companies do things, and that they make that active decision to want it. We have, I just got a super nice thank you note yesterday, and it's sticking in my head. It said, it's better than we could have imagined, and we hear that all the time, not just from our brides and grooms and our clients, but even corporate clients. Thank you, you guys responded fast. It looked amazing. We hear all of those things, and really, keeping the client at the forefront is our goal. And when we hear that positive feedback, that's the best part.
Yeah, because I think you're a lot like us as a photo studio. You guys are you're technical in nature because you have to do something, but at the same time, it's really a small part of what you do. It really is a service business. And in the long run, if service businesses aren't growing, it's because they're probably not taking care of the client. At least that's what I've seen in 13 years of business. So
for sure.
So best story about your business. I mean, I'm sure you get asked all the time, like, what's your most memorable story? Let's give it a good twist rather than a negative twist. I'm sure there's like bad stories.
Oh yeah.
Let's do positive stories.
So we're big. My wife and I are big Michigan State University supporters.
Okay.
And and so
don't hate him. Don't hate him for that.
Did you go to U of M?
No, I mean I did for a year, but I ended up graduating from MSU. So I played both sides.
Oh, you're the first person I've ever asked that actually went to U of M.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I said. That's funny.
So last February. We ended up doing something called morphing. So what morphing is we take a picture of the subject, we have a final picture, and then it produces automatically 45 pictures in between to turn one into the other and back and forth. And we ended up doing, for the Michigan State baseball first pitch dinner, we did morphing for that event from people into Sparty and back. So that was super cool. Amazing, you can. I'll send you. I'll show you.
Yeah, we'll link.
Yeah, so,
if you can
yeah,
send
sure,
it over, we'll link below.
So, morphing into Sparty was really.
And is that
really
something
cool.
You went to them, like you're in East Lansing at Michigan State?
Yeah, we went. It was at Kellogg.
So,
it was at Kellogg,
okay.
and they had a big, 600 people dinner, and
interesting.
And we morphed, 100 people or more, and I think 120 into Sparty. So
there you go. No, just
awesome.
Just to give people an idea of where you'll travel. Obviously.
Oh yeah, we
Michigan,
go wherever they want us. But we've done, in fact, I wasn't there, but just this last weekend at the Grand Rapids Public Museum, one of our events was probably the most beautiful setup I've ever seen. With they were set up right by the train car, the trolley.
Yeah,
trolley.
okay, yep.
And it was, and they had dough runs or go nuts or whatever the mini donut company was set up next to them.
Yeah.
So I noticed that too, of course.
Oh, the one they're down at the downtown market, I think, right there.
Yes, I believe so.
They got this little fry machine. They make donuts on site, right?
Exactly.
Okay. No,
exactly. But yeah, so we were set up next to them, and the setup was just amazing, and the pictures looked so great, so that was a really cool setup, and yeah, so I'd have to say first pitch was probably a highlight recently of events.
That's awesome. So what questions do you get asked? I'm sure, I get asked over and over, what kind of camera gear do you use, all that stuff. What questions, because I want you to be able to answer it kind of once and for all. So what are the one question or a couple questions you get asked over and over, and let's have you answer them.
That's kind of a two-part thing. So I actually, the question I get asked, I'd say most, that isn't like a pricing question, would be for people to make sure that I don't have one of these inflatable photo booths. I don't know if you've seen those.
No.
But they say so. It's got a loud blower on it. It's basically a bounce house, but it's in a square for a photo booth, and a lot of our clients don't seem to like those. So people say, hey, you don't have one of those, do you? But on the flip side of that, it's almost people don't really know what to ask for photo booths yet. And it's our job. I feel like it's our job to educate them. We've got a really good Q&A page on our website.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, what questions do you wish they asked?
Yeah, so we tell them you need to you need to make sure you know exactly what your photo booth looks like. You need to make sure you know exactly what's included in the cost. You want to know how many staff you're going to have, what your output is going to be, so what your either your digital or your print is going to look like, and those are going to be the main questions, other than the standard of are you insured. And all of those generals, and then pricing is so varied when it comes to the photo booth business. Where I see advertisements for people that do it as a hobby for $300, and that would make me very nervous. And just you can't make money at $300. It's just not how it works.
Well, they think they are. They think they
are,
but it doesn't mean they are.
Exactly, but yeah, so that's going to be probably just digital only, probably no scrapbook. And why we wanted to have that upfront pricing model was, by the time you added up all of the things that other companies would have as add-ons, most of the time you're paying significantly more than you would with us, because we make our money on volume, on doing so many events, rather than on doing one event a week. And that's going to be a big difference, because I did that market research, and I still do it, where I would rather pay $700 to $900 with us than $1,400 with someone else to have something that might not be as good, and we can do that because we have the volume.
That's great.
Yeah. But so I'd say those would be the top questions that I would ask, knowing what I know.
Yeah, it's interesting because the photo booth industry sounds a little bit like the wedding photography industry, where you as the customer, when they're reaching out, they assume that everybody's a full-time person doing it.
Correct.
But they really have to dig in and find out, are they I call people who shoot 4 Saturdays a month, but they have a full-time job, a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And it sounds like photo booth might be that situation too, where somebody's just kind of has it as a side income. Mm-hmm. And I there's a place for that, but depending on budget and all that stuff, and I understand why that is created. It's because the market is allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you guys can offer the same price point and better service, better quality, all that stuff on top of it, they just need to find you. And so that's
I try to make that as easy as possible.
Yeah, for sure. So what are the best So I would love to know, do you have any tips for people planning weddings, planning corporate events? Like, I would love to know some of the cool stuff you've seen. Like, you talked about the morphing thing, but just some of the things that you see are cool that are going on right now that could help somebody as they plan an event 6 months, 12 months down the road.
So part of what we want to do is stand out, and we have a large number of clients that want something that's different than what they've seen, and usually we can accommodate that with what we have standard, because a lot of what we have standard is going to be different than what they're going to see with a lot of other companies. But two things that are new hotness right now, if anybody's on Instagram, which a lot of people are, we have a new booth that does boomerangs. So we do boomerangs with an overlay for your event, and that's really, really cool. We also have, with that, we also have the capability to put a lot of filters on there, so like the beauty filter and that kind of stuff we can put on there.
At a wedding, people don't need beauty filters though.
Yeah, they're all done up. They're all done. But so that's really, really cool, and that's going to be really popular, and it's also a little bit less expensive because it's you can get that all digital too. Okay. So for people that are maybe a little budget conscious, that might be a good option for them, and that booth does boomerangs as well as still photos. Now,
but you're just delivering a digital final product, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no printing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's still, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's tablet based, and it's unless you've got a large number of unsupervised children, it's very easy, and you basically can't screw it up too easily. But the next thing is party patrol. So on July 29, we have our party patrol going out for the first time. And that is a 2010 police interceptor that we converted into a mobile photo booth. And what we did is we did a custom cut out of the cage, so the computer is built right into it.
What?
Yeah. So, well, and my thought was, everybody's got like a VW bus, and I was like, I want to do something cooler than that. So it's a black and white, and it's got party patrol all over it, and it's got white lights on it. The printer's in the back, and that's what's nice about cop cars is they've got all those ports for wires and all sorts of stuff. So Party Patrol is new this year, and mobile photo booth out of a police cruiser.
So how many people do you imagine you're going to get in the back of your Party Patrol? I mean, are you going to put 6 people wide?
Oh no, you can fit like 3, but they got to stick their heads in.
Gotcha.
It's a cop car. It's a little cramped in there, but that's part of the fun.
Wow. And are you thinking that that's going to literally just be a talking piece at an event in addition to a photo booth? Is that why?
So the idea with Party Patrol was having it as a mobile booth, but also having it, businesses can rent it to come out and be out front of their business too. So that kind of thing, and put the lights on, essentially like a spotlight, but not.
But not.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome.
So, but you can get it as a selfie. So, some people have expressed interest in having the booth set up having the Party Patrol set up as the backdrop for photos.
Interesting.
So
okay.
we could set up a kiosk booth and have that as the backdrop, so people could open the door or pretend like they're driving or anything like that. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love the creativity. Is that something that you work on a regular basis in terms of your company in general? Like, how do you process through the idea of what are we going to do next?
Most of our ideas are customer driven. That comes from doing a larger number of corporate events than other companies, because they're the ones that are gonna they're the ones that are striving to be different and do something different, along with even corporate social events. So what we're doing now for a lot of corporate Christmas parties and things like that, or like the awards show I mentioned for Metro Health, we're doing portraits now. So we'll have a camera set up. We'll have a photographer, camera, and printer, where we'll do instant hot folder. So we'll do instant prints with frame, custom printed frame for the company. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, however they want to do it. But so that's something that's really cool too. But corporate clients and wedding clients come to us with ideas, and we're like, oh, that's really cool. Other than the Party Patrol, that was something I kind of came up with.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, I really appreciate you. Are there anything else you'd love folks to know about the world of a photo booth that we haven't already covered? I mean, it sounds like you've talked a lot about pricing and questions. What else? What do you want them to know about you guys as a company, your company culture, your corporate culture? Like, when they call you and they email you, what are they going to find?
You're going to find someone that responds very quickly. Hopefully, our goal is to have a 3-hour email response time. hour phone call response time during business hours, 9 to 9, basically. If you're self-employed, those are your hours. But yeah, so somebody that's you're going to find a company that wants to create what your vision is for a wedding or for a corporate client, and make sure that that we're going through for you. But also not just the office and the logistical stuff, but at the event, we're engaging with guests, and we want to get as many people through as possible, and we want to create, something special for your event, whether it's corporate or social, and that would probably be it. Creating something special for your event. All the bells and whistles are good, but if you're not creating something for that event and caring about your client, none of the other stuff matters.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take away the word activation, because I think that's it's just there's always groups of people getting together anywhere we go, but it's a matter of how do you activate them to get past the event, past the whatever reason they're there for, whether it's a fundraiser, whether it's just a social event, whether it's an award ceremony. The idea being, how does a company move people past from that and carry that message forward that they're trying to move on. So that's very interesting that you're doing that through the event experience, through the photo booth world. So,
and that's what's really nice about, do we have any time?
Yeah, a couple minutes.
That's what's really nice about like the roaming photography and the tablet-based stuff, is we can actually pre-populate, take all of those pictures and have them automatically post to like a business's Facebook page, or something like that, which is nice because we can. What's the hardest thing to do as a business is come up with content, to come up with create that stuff, and and that's something that's really interesting, really cool. Yeah.
So where can people find you online? Like they
can find us at fastbooth.com. That's fast as in running, booth as in photo booth, and they can find us on Facebook at Facebook/fastbooth, fast as in running, booth as in photo booth. And my number is 616-406-9772 if you want to call or text. But email is good too, but website's great. We just put up a new promo video at fastbooth.com. Check that out. Let me know what you think. And then corporate clients, you can look at our corporate page. There's a button right at the top for corporate clients.
Super.
But
I really appreciate you coming out today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. For sure. And we'll make sure to put all this information in the links. Links will all be below to go meet TJ at Fast Booth here in West Michigan.